Hello YouTube and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Welcome to my channel everybody. So I am having a delightful time working with the Notes of Nature, which is February's bundle that I will be concentrating on. So are you ready? Ready? I am so happy. I have the sample. Where did it go? I'm looking for it. Look at this gorgeous card. Now this, beautiful. I am calling this my card for the beginner stamper. And it might look complicated, guys, but it's so not. This really is somebody, if you are just wanting to get into stamping, and you are looking for a stamp set to purchase, you don't even, well, for this, you would need the dies. And you pick the bundle. Let me show you. Page 43 in that mini catalog. Right here it is, right? This is it. Now, it's $46.75, which is a really good value for a bundle. Really, really good. I love, there are so many things in here. This one, you guys saw me use that for these cards here, which was using my celebration items. Okay, all those little leafy bits, really cool. I mean, this is a really great bundle if you're just now getting into stamping, and it's something that will take you from beginner all the way to avid and really extreme avid paper crafting. This will do it. And to think that this was really almost like a consolation prize, I want to say, because when, as your demonstrator, you get to order early, all the stamp sets that I was dying to get in this catalog weren't available for the pre-order. So I chose this one, and what sold it on was this piece right here, which I have yet to use, but I saw this on their on stage at home, and I loved this bit right there, which I will use, just not on this card. So, I dropped a die, everybody. I need to get the magnetic sheet. So, let me put that in here because I don't want to lose it. So, the only die we're using out of the dies is this long one here. Like I said, and then we're not putting any sentiment on this card. We're using this piece, this one, and this one. And let me close up, mark my spot in the catalog. And I believe the DSP I am using is called Perfectly Pinned or something like that. It was a black and white. This was a celebration item a couple of years back. So you have this wavy lines, this polka dots. I'm not sure if there was more, if it was just the two. Anyways, you have this print and then the floral print. And I chose to use this. I only have a few sheets left. But, so, if you were new and you wanted to get stamp, grab black cardstock, black ink pad, and the stamp set. That's all you need for this card. Black in DSP, some kind of black print that is got leaves in it, or just, even if it just was this muted gray and black, that would work too. So this is our inspiration. Let's go over what you're going to need for that. I need the notebook, really actually a short list. So I have a black card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then, oh, I forget that I got my camera lowered. So I was trying to get you a closer up scene, so I'm going to have to remember that. So card base. Then we have layer number 1. You will need to cut 2. This is white. 4 by 5 1/4. This is part of those basic layers I went over you guys with. Wait, I think I wrote it. Basic layer measurements. You can take a look, pause the video, jot it down. All right, and then you have your DSP layer 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. like I said, I believe this is perfectly penned. And it is retired, but any black and white grayish bit will do. You are going to need a piece of black cardstock that is at least 1 3/4 by 5.5. That's for the black vine die cut. A scrap piece of paper that's at least 2.5 by 3.5, and that's for this focal point here. And that's it. This is a little scrap piece. I'm going to add that to my envelope. So let's get started. First things first is we are going to work on this piece right there. So this is it. It says field notes. I'm taking the black Memento. We're going to do some stamping, and if you're new and you're looking for a card to do not be afraid to try this card. It is simpler than what you think, and if you think you can't do it, you are so wrong. So this is scrap, so I'm just going to make sure I leave some around the edges for tearing. I'm going to give it a minute. All right, so that's that. It's stamped. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you go to do tearing on a card, whatever direction you start to pull the paper, continue that all the way around. So, like, I'm going to pull with my right hand towards me because that's how I prefer. If I pulled away, I would pull away all the way around. So here I go. I'm going to pull. I'm just tearing the paper using my nail to go around. See how it tore way down there? You just want to take little bits of it. I'm just tearing. I'm not trying to be perfect around it. And I'm going to tear. Now let's tear that off. And if you have a hard time tearing, get a paintbrush, a water pen. Got lots of water here. Go. Make yourself take it and go down the edge, right? I need a paper towel now. Paper towel. There's one in the recycle bin. We'll get it out. All right. Gives it a minute. Now, remember, I pull towards me, so I'm going to continue. But putting that water there really just makes it so much easier to tear. So I'm going to go around the edge. And I'm not using thick white. There. Every one is going to be different that you tear. So we have that stamped and torn. Now we have this piece. Now I only want to take about 1/4 inch off. So let me get some more water here. I'm going to run it just along the edge. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. That's all I should need for that. Now I'm going to pull towards me, right? Because that's how I'm not pulling this way. I'm pulling the paper up with my right hand. However you like to tear. So this, recycle bin. Now, the easy peasy part, you see how I have that little bit of black line in black? I'm going to take the ink pad to the paper. I'm going to hold it kind of at a 45-degree angle. Hold like you do with sponging, like I've showed you with the sponge dauber. And I am going to go around all that torn edge. If it gets farther into there, that's okay too. See how it got on there? It's all right. It's going to look great. 45-degree angle. There you go. That's done. Now we also want to continue that along this torn edge. Now I've got a couple of streaks on my paper. That's okay with me. That's not going to bug me at all. That's all for those two to get done. Those two pieces are now done. We have the die that is done. This goes back in the scrap bin. Now we're going to do some of that stamping. So I'm trying to get a scratch paper out. I'm going to need it. So this is making sure 4 by 5 1/4, inside and outside, both the same. But now we're going to stamp all of this. If you do not have any DSP, you can get the same kind of look, go with a light basic gray smoky slate, and then stamp a design on this side, just a simple design. Oh, let me get a piece and show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me see if I have a scrap piece, just a wee bit. Okay. Let's say that I don't have any DSP and I have my white here. This would resemble my DSP piece. I would do a simple pattern. And let's see, what do we have? This one, yeah. Nope, I'm going to do the leaves because I like it better. Don't know why, but I do. So if you don't have DSP, make your own. So I'm going to pretend that this is half, right? So I'm going to use this half over here. I'm going to stamp. What am I doing? I'm creating my own piece of DSP. Oh, we'll just do the whole thing, right? I'm going to turn the stamp. I'm going to turn it again. I'm going to bring in something else there. You guys have seen me play this. You see what I'm doing. I am creating my own designer series paper. And stamping is the name of the game. I'm going to be using the back of this. So then I have this one, this one, this one, there. Do you see how that's kind of simple as far as everything goes? You can add more. So let's fill in these spaces with little specklies. And I'm using the one from the stamp set, not my fave, but I'm just filling it in. I just didn't get it quite on there. So we can go there, there, there. I'm stamping on my, okay, you guys get the picture. So, right? And then I would do what I'm going to now show you in the white. I would sponge around the edges. So that is now going to get turned around. But that's what I'm talking about. So right now we're going to make this pattern here. Sorry, it was out of view. Just trying to get closer. Trying very hard not to have a catastrophe with the ink. So we're going to start with the grid. Walk around your stamp. Everything wants to move. So I know I need to go off. So I'm going to start here. I've done this 4 times now, so I do know where I'm starting. There and there. See how that is partially in? So this one, this one, this one. Now, you almost don't need this, but I'm going to go ahead just in case. There. And then don't need this because I've got DSP covering that. So next we're going to bring in our big leaf here. So I was like, I know I stamped on the grid. So one in the center, one down here. Don't want to forget this little bit of a grid. All those little grid bits are going to get a leaf. You can turn it. There we go. So there's my leaf. Now my little Queen Anne's lace, because that's what this reminds me of. It's going to go in the white spaces there. And it's going to go like, just needs a bit there. And a bit there. And then I want a tiny little bit there. Make sure you always include a little bit off the edge. Just makes it look better. Now we're going to do our little splatters. Okay, and we are going to go, do I want to stamp off? I do. I want to stamp off on this one. I just want it light. So stamping off, and I'm going to go wherever there's white space. Stamp off. It's okay that it goes onto something else, but I want to, there. And there's a little bit right there with white space. Stamp off. So that's done. We're going to set that aside. Now we're going to repeat very similar what we just did for the inside of the card. Let me open it up and show you. Just that little bit of a detail, right? So we got to get the grid back. I'm telling you what, if you guys love to stamp this set, can't beat it. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to stamp bottom and top, and that's a little bit too much. Let's stick it over. We don't want that much showing. Top, bottom, still got it, and then a bit at an angle. Bring in our leaf. We're just repeating what we did. Leaf, turn it this way. This one, bring back that Queen Anne's lace. We're going to fill a little there. And this one needs a wee bit. And then our little splitter splatters here, but stamped off. Stamp off in there. Stamp off right there. So this is for the inside. Remember, I'm not putting any sentiments on this one. Now I'm going to go show you two ways. I'm going to move the card. If you were doing a clear envelope or a regular envelope. So I'm going to show you the clear envelope first, what I would do. Turn it this way because I've done this before. I do like this pattern. So I'm going to go across there and across at the top. I'm going to bring my leaf in. I'm going to stamp here. I am not stamping up there. That is where the stamp will go closest to it, even with it. So I'm going to stamp off though, add my little speckles, stamp off, and half on and half out. This would be for the clear envelope. My address label for mailing, right? So I already showed you, I have a piece, because it was extra just lying there. We're going to add this here. So all I need to do next is to stamp right here. Just like that. Add my leaf. Add some little speckles. I can huff on this. Just breathing, hot air, reactivates the ink. Add a little bit there. If I didn't have DSP, you know what we would do? We would repeat it. So if you didn't have DSP, options, options, and options. I'm going to huff on this again. Just some hot air. There we go. So this is without the DSP on the envelope. Now I'm going to show you, because we're all done stamping. We're done. So now I'm going to take this strip. Now this is 2 1/4. So I'm going to take it and I am going to add Tombow using the large bottle. I'm going to snuggle that right up against that crease on the back of the envelope. I'm going to use a bone folder. Really push my glue to the edges of this. Sometimes it comes out. So you see, now we're going to trim it. It's that simple. So turn. Just fussy cutting. I am using the edge of the envelope right there. You hear that? Up against the top blade of my scissors. Not the bottom, the top blade, the one that is closing. You just get a better cut, in my humble opinion. Now, I do believe if I bring in my mat here, you're going to see there is this tiny little sliver right there that shows fix guillotine. There's plenty of licky sticky stuff on the back. for you to put this in there and take that out. And it doesn't look bad at all. If you're worried, take it further. I mean, this is me showing you guys. You guys can do so much. There's still plenty of licky sticky stuff, though I tend to use wet glue on my envelopes now. So, this is what it looks like now. Stamped. We covered up where we stamped, but this is using some scrap DSP I had left over. Remember, this is showing you that even a basic beginner card can come out absolutely gorgeous. I really would love, this one just isn't wanting to fold properly. I'm like, what is wrong with this card? It's like, you did something to me to not make me not want to close up. I will make you work for me. There. Okay. You can do this if you were a beginner. So this is for the outside of our card. This is for the inside. So this one goes down. Go around the outside, a big X, dash, 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 dash. In the center, roughly. That's what we're trying to do anyways. All right. You can smooth it out with the bone folder if you'd like. You don't have to. Now for the inside. This is one of those where I could use this for a birthday, a thinking of you, just anything at all this card can be. And I can just handwrite what I want in it. I can smooth out the glue. All right, so this piece now is going to get glued right on top of that, right to the edge with the white. Oops, needs a little right there. So edges to edges. You see that gorgeousness? Look at that. It looks so good. So we will need dimensionals on this, but I want to show you. So do you see how this is longer right here? We are going to cut this little bit off. And I'm just going to go like so. Now this little bit, I'm going to cut this little stem off. That's why I wanted the camera closer. So just going to pull that little bit out. Now this little bit is going to become detail on here probably. Maybe like so. The other one had a bigger space, but I'll get it on there. Now this bit, no dimensionals, but it is not going to go in the center. I mean, after all, I tore that so you could see it. I don't want to cover it up. I want to center it between here and here. So glue up the stem where it's nice and flat. There's these ridges of cut. I'm putting glue there, though I'm not sure if it's really going to stick. So this piece now, and it is going to go outside of the edge here. See how it's coming over the edge? I did want that. If you don't like it, just cut it down a little bit further. This piece now is going to go here, and then I have this little bit, which is, might have to, I cut it so close. You see this one had more room there. Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it there. So I'm going to add some glue right here. Not going to let it go to waste. I think we'll put that up there. Not going to let it go to waste at all. Looking for dimensionals. 1, 2. Did you see that? It just tore on purpose. I can go like that. And then like so. I think that will do it. And I got a little bit left over. All right, so this now, do I want it here? Do I want it up? I think this one I'm going to bring it up and over a little bit more. I like that. And kind of at an angle. So I already took Black Wing Castella, and yes, they do make a black. You can find it on like Amazon. Now I've got a decision on what to use for rhinestones. Let's see. Pokey Tool, where are you? There you are. Sorry guys about my grass. So I'm going to take a big fat chunky one right there. A medium one, stick it about there. Let's see, these were just bits and pieces I had on my desk. And the last one, I mean, please do not let the look of this card scare you guys. This is a beginner card. Very simple stamping. We just stamp, 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 stamped, which I love doing. I mean, that's what makes it look so good. So we have two options of envelope. Here's an envelope. There's the gorgeous inside, right? And then we have our clear envelope for this card. So I hope you like seeing that. If you didn't have dimensionals, glue it flat. You don't have to put the little black accents on there. I just think it made it stand out a little bit more. So I would call this my card for the neutral categories, it being we're just used black. And also a basic beginner card for a beginner. It might look fancier than it is because it's simple. It's simple, it's simple. So I really want to thank you all for subscribing, for liking, for sharing my channel. And please, please feel free to comment. Even if you don't like what I did or if you think it's not a beginner card, comment and let me know, because your guys' comments are what keep me going. I wake up in the morning, I read them, unless I have somewhere I have to be, then I read them throughout the day, and I answer each and every one of them. I text it. I don't click little buttons. I physically, even if it's just to tell you thank you, because it does mean the world to me. So thank you once again, and please come back and visit me in my wonderland. Bye-bye for now, everybody.